Two presidential task forces appointed. Mother of Floyd's daughter delivers heartbreaking statement. Many countries support protests in the US. Meeting of the National Election Commission commences. Mumbai on alert as Cyclone Nisarga, city's first in over a century, closes in.
In your local news, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has appointed two presidential task forces for special purposes.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa announced his latest presidential task force, headed by Defence Secretary Major General retired Kamal Gunaratne, tasked with creating a secure country and a disciplined, virtuous and a lawful society. Issuing a presidential directive yesterday by way of a Gazette Extraordinaire, Secretary to the President P.B. Jayasundara also appointed Senior Assistant Secretary Minister of Defence Mr. D.M.S. Desanayake as Secretary of the said task force. The task force comprises 10 high-level military personnel, some retired and others in active service, while acting IGP and 2 DIGs make up the other 3 members. An 11-member presidential task force led by Defence Secretary has been appointed for the management of archaeological sites in the Eastern Province. Presidential Secretariat issued the extraordinary Gazette notification announcing the appointment of the Presidential Task Force for Archaeological Heritage Management in the Eastern Province yesterday. Secretary to the Ministry of Defence, retired Major General Kamal Gunaratne, has been appointed as the chairman of the task force. The 11 members include Archaeological Chakravarti Venerable Ellavala Medananda Thero and Chief Prelate of the North and Eastern Provinces Venerable Panamure Tilakavansha Thero.
A meeting of the National Election Commission got underway this morning.
The meeting commenced at around 10:30 this morning. The meeting revolved around the situation after the Supreme Court dismissed the petition filed challenging the date of the election and the future course of action related to the general election. Earlier, the National Elections Commission has informed the Supreme Court that the election cannot be conducted owing to the health situation in the country. Meanwhile, the National Elections Commission said a Gazette notification will be issued citing media criteria and ethics in line with the general elections.
The Executive Director of PAFRAL, Rohana Hettiarachchi, expressed the following views during a media briefing in Colombo this morning.
We are
expecting that the NEC, after discussing with the health authorities, will conduct the election by following proper health guidelines. There is no result in conducting an election just for the sake of it. All 7,452 candidates from ruling and opposition parties will contest the elections. The possibility of equal grounds for all contestants should be taken into consideration. The Election Commission should also look into the issue of fair space for election campaign. Next, we need to have a clear belief in the electoral system and the healthcare system in voter and political parties. We also believe that the Election Commission should have adequate program to make the electorate aware of the changes, taking into consideration the state of the health condition in the country. Also, in the recent past, we saw thoughts being expressed which could mislead people. The situation might intensify given the corona pandemic in the country, because the people are currently conscious about their health and we need to have a program in place. So we believe it is too soon. We hope that we will be able to appoint representatives to the legislature of this country, but no one has a right to put the health of people at risk. It is with this in mind that we have to decide. The campaigning machine will not be conducted similar to presidential election and local government elections. We need to understand that. We should focus on an alternative. In more local news, former President Maithripala Sirisena attended a media briefing held at the SLFP headquarters today. Based on the information, there is a possibility of issuing a gazette notification on preferential numbers. Accordingly, we are expecting that the NEC will announce the confirmed date today. Considering the political situation and as a part of the government and as Sri Lanka Nidahas Podujana Alliance, I believe we are campaigning for these elections without opposition. The opposition is separated into two groups and I don't think they can come out of this hole. They are traveling through a hole without seeing the end. Therefore, we are committed to a free and fair election in the democratic manner. We believe that we can achieve a great victory.
රටේ අද තිබෙන මූලික ආර්ථික ප්‍රශ්න ජයග්‍රහණය කිරීම සඳහා අපි අපේ වගකීම් සහ යුතුකම් ඉටු කළ යුතු වෙනවා.
Meanwhile, candidate of the Samagijana Balavegia, Vijaypala Hettiarachchi, expressed the following views at a media briefing in Galle. Now the UNP has only one alternative, that is to join hands with Samagijana Balavegia. If not like at the presidential elections, they will try to defeat Samagijana Balavegia while taking part in contracts with the SLPP. In news from India, cyclone Nisarga is likely to intensify into a severe cyclonic storm with heavy rainfall and wind speeds of 110 kilometers per hour over the next 12 hours. Over 10,000 people, including some coronavirus patients, have been moved to safer locations. Forecasters say that a cyclone moving across the Arabian Sea to the Indian coastal city of Mumbai has intensified. The Indian Meteorological Department said that cyclone was 215 kilometers from Mumbai and had intensified into a severe cyclonic storm, further noting the cyclone had speeded up and was moving at around 13 kilometers an hour. Cyclone Nisarga, which is approaching from the southwest, would be the first serious cyclone to make landfall in the city since 1891. More than 10,000 people have already been moved to higher grounds. With 20 million people, Mumbai is India's most populous city and its financial capital, and has already been badly hit by the virus outbreak. A look back at your local news. The Ministry of Health noted the number of COVID-19 cases in the island has increased to 1,683.
40 more people were tested positive for COVID-19 yesterday. The epidemiology unit of the Ministry of Health noted 849 patients were receiving treatment at the hospitals. With 12 more people recovering yesterday, the total recoveries in Sri Lanka has increased to 823.
That we bring to a close this edition of Lunchtime News on TV1. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Martin Satyanis, and have yourself a wonderful day.